you didn't bring your ingredients, their solution to that was just put you in isolation. Like, you're in detention.
Damn.
So I managed to circumnavigate that by just taking in a pack of bacon and some bread and like, look, I'm cooking. It might not be what you want.
I'm cooking.
You've asked for A5 Wagyu and I've given you pork shoulder.
What's going on, guys? And welcome back to another episode of the Dual Hemisphere Hangout. My name is Luke, and join with me each and every week. I do have my lovely co-host, Jake. Jake, my man, say hello to the people.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back, Luke. Welcome back. I missed you.
Thanks.
Last weekend was it was weird. It was really weird. Not sitting down and doing a podcast, which we usually do. I was like, oh,
Yeah.
like I was up and ready, and then
Mhm.
I was like, oh, well, I do have some editing to do. So I edited up the tier list. It was a good video.
Yeah.
We recorded it so long ago that I forgot how good it was.
I know, right?
So if once you're done finishing watching this podcast, if you haven't already, head over to the channel and I'll
Yeah.
maybe put a little pin at the top here of like where to watch it if you click, but don't click off now. We'll put it at the end as well.
No. Don't do that.
And usually I would
Stay here right now.
I'd intro this podcast with like, okay, this is what we're doing today, but there's too much to talk about, so we don't even need any mini games or
Oh,
little
no,
bits.
not at all.
We don't need no questions of the day. In fact, I'll give one, Luke, right now. What do you think about the PS5 announcement? Ho ho ho. But we'll talk about our weeks first. I want to hear how.
I was gonna say,
Yeah, I want to hear how New York was, because it seems like they had like the world's like their most hottest day recently. Did you miss that?
yeah, I missed that.
Oh, thank God for that, because I've seen things melting.
Yeah.
I've seen videos of things
Yeah.
melting.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. The heat wave is very real. Over here on the East Coast right now. Luckily I avoided the massive heat wave in New York, but that was mainly in like New York proper, not like upstate. Again, where I was at, in Ticonderoga, we are an hour and a half outside of Canada, so we're pretty much up north. So it doesn't get typically we're not right on the coast, so we're not really getting hit with the extreme heat that New York was facing anyways. But regardless, yeah, it's a shame that it's super hot over there. And yeah, a lot of these northern cities, man, they're just not built for the heat. Because they're in the north. So they don't really expect it to be hitting 95 degrees and dealing with humidity and stuff like that. But that's a topic for another day. But yeah, New York was actually really cool. So yeah, I went up there on I drove up there early Thursday morning, left my house like at 1 in the morning and drove up there. Got up there on like 10:30, 11 o'clock in the morning. Um, it was just a good time. I mean, it was really nice to see the family. I went up there specifically for my eldest niece's graduation. She is graduated from high school. And it was like a really weird mixture of feelings I was going through. I felt so immensely proud and also very old at the same time. Because when my sister had her, me and my sister are 7 years apart. So I'm 32, she's 39. And she had Deirdre when I was when I was 14 years old. So in a sense, I kind of not necessarily grew up with her, but like I grew up with her in a sense. Like I was going from teenager into adult while she was going from child into adulthood. Um and yeah, it was just really awesome. I mean, they when they announced all the awards she won like 7 or 8 different awards and scholarships for school. She won an award for having the second highest score in her entire school.
Holy smokes!
She's very big in drama and theater, as well as music as well. She was actually the conductor, so she actually didn't even walk out on the stage. She was conducting the typical graduation song of the da 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 da. She was the one conducting that, which was really really cool. So I was like, that's right, that's my niece. Like she's too cool. She doesn't need to be walking in a line. They go graduate. Like she's the reason why these guys are even able to walk out right now. They wouldn't even have music if it wasn't for her. Um, but yeah, it was just really cool. It was the first graduation I've been to, obviously, since my own graduation. Because there aren't too many other graduations to go to. It was a smaller school, so the graduation class was maybe like 50, 60 kids, maybe.
Okay, yeah.
Because again, it is in a very small town. The town of Ticonderoga is just very, very small. I mean, you can drive through the town in like 2.5 minutes if you go straight. Um, and yeah, it was really nice. It was really nice to see the family. It's really nice to see my mom. Nice to see my sister and my brother-in-law, and obviously my nephew, my three other nieces as well. They're just growing up like they're just I just feel old every time I go up there because they're just
Yeah.
growing. They're just growing. And it's just so cool to see their personalities develop and really just kind of in a sense growing into their own like skin and growing forming their own ideas and beliefs and stuff like that, which is really, really cool. Definitely every time I go up there, they always try to convince me to move up there, and every time I tell them no. Um, but
But this time was different.
this time, no, no, this time was not
No.
different. I'm definitely not going up there. Love them, but I cannot live there, and I don't want to move to New York specifically. I like where I'm at now. Um, but it definitely made me want to visit, make sure I take more time throughout the year and visit them versus just 2 times a year. You know, usually I go up there for Christmas, and I try to make a trip up there in the springtime. So I definitely it definitely made me want to go up there and visit a little bit more. So, maybe I'll increase the trip by one extra week next year. Maybe I'll go up there 3 times during the year instead of just my traditional 2 times. But yeah, it was good, man. I think me and Jacob joked about this before in the past, but I think I might have missed my calling in life as a trucker. Just because I like to drive. I think I've mastered the art of driving. Specifically, just that route. I mastered my P brakes. I know I packed like lunches. It was like I low key think I missed my calling a little bit in life. I like as much as I driving a big old truck would give me anxiety. I don't know, just I just find the groove and that people were like, "Man, that was a long drive." I'm like, "Yeah, it wasn't that bad."
It's nice when you know when
I'm
you're
just
going.
like,
Like, if you know the route
"Yeah,
inside and
exactly.
out, like, when I used to drive to
Yeah.
my from, like, Chester to back home and then back to Chester again, when you just
Mhm.
don't have to think, like, I know where my turnings are. Like, sometimes you do forget because 'cause you're not using
Yeah,
navigation. It's just like, "Whoops,
exactly."
there's my turning."
Oh.
But no, I get that. I used to do really long drives, but not like American style long drives. Like, the best you could
Yeah.
do in the UK is maybe 5 hours-ish. Then
Mhm.
none of these, like, cross country 48-hour
Yeah.
drives or whatever you get.
Oh, absolutely not.
Nah, UK's not big enough for that.
Yeah.
I mean, Australia is. If you want to try and drive around Australia, that's like 4 days, 5
3,
days.
4 yeah, 4 days across fully, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I remember because we were watching, Australian truckers when we were in Florida, actually. And they were talking about the dangers of driving through the middle of, Australia because
The
they run
bush.
out of gas. There's not gas for, like, miles upon
Yeah.
miles, so,
And you need a satellite phone to
that's
call
a
someone. Your mobile phone won't work out
e
there.
exactly, right? No. But, yeah, overall, it was a good time. The trip was good. It was nice to have a couple days off of work, and yeah, I mean, it was cool. I listened to a lot of podcasts. I listened to lots of music, and I just got home, rested, and that's pretty much about it for the New York trip. It wasn't anything noteworthy other than just being able to watch my niece walk across the stage. But besides that, it was just a good old
It's a
family
weird
trip.
feeling. I've never been in the crowd. I'm the only one in my family that's immediate family that's graduated uni. Not like I'm
Yeah.
the only person that went, I think, in the immediate family.
Mhm.
On my mum's side, there is Jess. Jess did graduate, but then like her mum and dad are like very high up educated people. Like my uncle Anthony's got like two
Yeah.
PhDs. Um,
Jesus.
yeah. My auntie Emma has a PhD and like a whole more
Mm.
like medical qualifications because she didn't need to do another PhD. You go ahead and do. all the random medical stuff that you can do and all the certificates that you can do. So she came from that side, and that's very smart. But like my immediate side, we're all dumb. We're all dumb blue collar workers.
Yeah.
So my mum enjoyed my graduation. Luckily, well, it was in November, so it was freezing, Baltic. Don't ask me why they didn't put it in July or August. Where it's like a
Yeah, that's a weird
steady,
time.
like very easy summer. Might be a bit
Yeah.
humid, but nah, this thing was like close to freezing point.
Wow.
in a cathedral that is obviously
Mhm.
not heated because it's just brick
Yeah.
and windows.
Yeah.
But yeah, she got to see it. I felt very weird walking across. It's very
Mhm.
it's I don't even remember that bit in my life really. It was that short. There was about 400 of us queued up down the side, and then you walk across the
Yeah.
stage. You shake the hand. You do not trip up. It's that point in your life where it's like walking has never been harder, and it never will be
Yes.
again.
Yes.
The ability to, as a 21-year-old or whatever, the ability to walk in a straight line has never been harder across that graduation
Yes.
stage. All the
Oh,
free
yeah.
steps to go up to this.
Mhm. Yep, and there always happens to be at least 1 to 2 kids who do trip.
Yeah, yeah, and it's like
Always,
you've just ruined it.
without fail. Just
And then
ruined
also
it,
there's a
man. You
pressure of
ruined
the
the
haircut as well,
yeah.
because you're gonna have your graduation photo, and it's like it's even worse than, do you remember you had like kindy photos, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, when the professional photographer would come in and your school photos, and you get my
Yeah.
mum would pay for the lot, and she'd be like,
Mhm.
"When is it? Like, tell me when the photos is." And I was like, "I don't know, like maybe in a couple of weeks time, couple of months time," because she'd want to pre-book the haircut. She needs to get the hairdresser in.
Mhm.
Like, she wants me to look prim and proper, and then it would always be like, "Oh, mum, photos are tomorrow." And she'd be like, "What do you mean the photos are tomorrow? I can't get the hairdresser." It was that and cooking. We had cooking class,
Yeah.
food tech. Oh, mum, I've
Mhm.
got food tech tomorrow morning. What are you trying? What have they told you to make? I don't know, some like carbonara or something. She's like, I haven't got any of these ingredients that you need. Why didn't you tell me a week ago? I was like, oh, I don't know. I don't know.
I love that.
So I ended up making bacon sandwiches every morning. She'd send me over a pack of bacon and a loaf of bread.
I love that. Oh my god.
Hey, look, it was breakfast time. It was like 8:30 in the morning. What else am I gonna
Yeah.
cook? Sausage, bacon. I don't want to be
Yeah.
making no fancy dancy like Swiss roll or some fancy dessert that the dinner lady wants me to make.
That's
Nah,
fair.
I want a
That's
bacon
fair.
sandwich. Ah, but
That's
yeah,
funny.
I've got it
So
all
if
went
you're
well.
wait, so your home ec class, they made you make stuff at home and bring
No,
it in for
you
class?
had to bring the
Oh,
ingredients in.
gotcha. Okay.
So yeah, it was carnage, absolute carnage, because they wouldn't have
Okay.
stocks of anything. So
Yeah, of course.
if you didn't bring your ingredients, their solution to that was just put you in isolation, like you're in detention.
Damn.
so,
Damn.
so I managed to circumnavigate that by just taking in a pack of bacon and some bread and like, look, I'm cooking. It might
I'm
not be what you
cooking.
want.
I'm cooking.
You've asked for A5 Wagyu and I've given you pork shoulder.
Oh, shit. That's so
No,
funny.
good memories of school actually. Like thinking back,
Yeah.
I nailed a biscotti recipe. Like nailed it to
Okay.
a T. It's super easy to make. It's just like it's just like making a normal biscuit really. But then you throw in some
Mhm.
like nuts and stuff. It's basically a if you don't know what biscotti is, it's a small hardish type biscuit cut lengthways. So it's like in little pieces. You meant to have it
Mhm.
with a coffee. It's like a dipping
Okay.
biscuit. Um, big in Italy, really easy to make. So
Mhm.
every single and the thing is, I would take in more because that's how I got in with the food tech teachers because they were like, "Oh,
Mhm.
Jake, what are you making this week?" I'm like, "Guess what?" And they'd be like, "Please don't bacon sandwiches." I was like, "Nah, it's biscotti this week, miss." And she'd be like, "Right, get some for the tea room." They used to ransack my biscuit tins.
I love it. I love that. That's so funny.
And that's how I became in. And she was really sad when
There you go.
I, UK school works slightly different to US, 'cause I think the US works similar
Mhm,
to Australia, where you pick like majors and minors and stuff.
mhm,
In high school in the UK, you just pick subjects, so you get to pick like four.
mhm,
You have your cores,
mhm,
which you can't bid off: maths, English, um,
mhm.
yeah, maths, English, English language, and English literature. Um,
Yeah.
and and then there's a couple more cores. I think you could do core science. So those were the
Mhm,
3 or 4 that you had to take. But I took triple science, so that took so that
mhm.
you get more biology, physics, and chemistry instead of just it all amalgamated
Yeah.
into one. And then you get to pick 4 subjects that you'll get GCSEs in. And my miss was coming up to me going, "Jay, you're really good at cooking. I want you to take food tech." Because it was like it's like a careers day, sort of. Like each
Mhm.
department would set up their stalls and like what this is what
Okay.
we offer you, and you come around with your little handbook, and you'd have to make
Mhm,
notes. Um, I went to like the science one, and they were like, "Yeah, we think you're heading towards a sciencey route in your career path. Like everyone that wants to be a
mhm,
doctor or a marine biologist or ecologist." So you make a little note and go, "Yeah, I like this one," and then you come around to PE, like physical education, and I'm like, "Nah, not for me. Not for me. I like
mhm.
sport, but I don't like studying sport." So that one got
Yeah.
binned off. So I ended up picking music because I needed a relief. That was basically just me saying I want to play guitar for 4 hours a week. I failed it.
Mhm.
I failed music, but I got to play my guitar for 4 hours a week, and my mum was happy with that. She was like, I'll let you fail one." So then I did
There you
triple
go.
science. I did history. Um, what else did I do? Classics. I did like classical
Okay.
civilization. So
Oh,
Romans,
fun.
Greek, mythology,
Cool.
um,
Love that.
and then the triple science. So yeah, they were my
Okay.
4. So that
Interesting.
just like I sorry I went on like a massive tangent off what you said, but that
No, that's
it took me
fine.
back to
No.
food class, man. It took me making
Yeah.
sponge
Everyone
puddings.
had a food class. I had food class too, man. I had a we had like we had I can't remember what the intro class was. Like we had foods, which is basic like a food class, and then the next one up was catering, which you had to get recommended for to get into. So my senior year, we had block scheduling, so we had A days, B days, and my B day, because I was a senior, I would come in late every day, um, and I would literally go to catering or cooking for 3.5 hours, and then I would literally go to AP environment, advanced my college environmental science class, which I skipped every day. Um, and yeah, I just yeah, catering was so much fun. It was just me and my friends, and we would just literally make food, have a good time. It was just a lot of fun. We always got put on pizzas because we the mainly because the pizza mainly because the pizza dough maker was in our kitchen. So no matter what it was like, all right, Blue Kitchen pizzas, and we're like, no shit. We're always doing
It's-
pizzas and salads. But like halfway through, we would just start making cookies because we wanted to make cookies and shit like that. And then all the other kitchens got to make the cool shit. We did the grunt work. We made the pizzas, we made the salads, we made the cookies. You know,
Nice.
the like you said, the labor class. That's what we weren't making. No chicken Alfredo, no like penne alla vodka, none of that shit. We were making fucking pepperoni pizzas, garden salads, chocolate chip cookies,
Feeding the
and
backbone of
fucking
America
yeah, yeah, exactly, right? And we would make chicken salad too. And that's about it.
for the healthy blue collar workers.
Yes, exactly, exactly. But yeah, no, that's so funny that you mentioned that. I was thinking about this the other day, and I wanted to ask you this question. Um, and we can cut it if it's not like something that you want to talk about, but I was
Ah,
talking about like yeah, I was talking about like history, art, like US history. Me and my friend were talking about like the negative sides of it, like like obviously like slavery, us pushing, the Native Americans off their own land and stuff like that. And I was thinking about like world history, and I remember, like the British Empire was a really, really big thing. And you guys were very expansionistic, and you guys took over a lot of places. And eventually
yeah.
you guys eventually pulled out, and obviously you guys did abolish slavery and in your empire before we did over here in the States. But was that something like that was specifically talked about in like your like British like history class, or was it something that you guys kind of maybe glazed over? Because we definitely glazed over like the Indian removal stuff in my like early like my basic high school experience, and we talked about the Civil War, obviously, but I was just curious about like in your like curriculum and education, like did they really like touch on the expansionism and like the negative sides of it, or did they just say, "Hey, we did this for like 200 years and then we stopped"?
I don't even remember him touching on it at all, Luke. Like,
Oh
at
wow,
all.
wow, that's
So
okay.
the Isles of Britain have gone through
Mhm.
many evolutions over the years of
Yeah,
from
of course.
Nordic to Roman to barbarian to whatever you want to call the Welsh. Sorry, I'm not.
Yeah.
It's just that they never got took over, man. Then everyone looked at the Welsh and went, there's something else. We're not going over there."
Yeah.
Um, so we went through like all of the ancient, classical, then the medieval, then like the progression of religion throughout, and then
Mhm.
technically the Crusades was the start of the
Yeah.
British Empire, which we did cover, but that was
Mhm.
more not what's the word for it? That was just slaying people because they didn't believe in God. That was it. It wasn't
Yep.
that we're not coming for your land. We're just doing God's work, apparently. And
Yep.
that's not how the world goes.
Oh, that's a fun topic.
Yeah. Yikes. And then like that gap then kind of bridged because then we went to like the Industrial Revolution,
Yeah.
textile mills, and then all the way up to like current day, how we got from
Okay.
mills and big labor intensive
Mhm.
plants to now what we've got
Mhm.
where it's like electricity and
Okay.
all that jazz. But yeah, there was a hardcore focus on like castles and medieval
Mhm.
warfare and um the way life functioned in
Mhm.
terms of like boroughs, how the king or queen, well, no, it was definitely a king back then because there was no how he divvied out land, how you paid your
Yeah.
taxes, how like the census, how the census came about because Henry VIII
Mhm.
wanted to, or it wasn't Henry VIII, it was one of them, wanted to tax the living shit out of everyone, but he didn't know how many people he
Yeah.
could tax. How Henry VIII just invented divorce and invented another church. Like, now we have no one's Catholic anymore, everyone's Church of England, and you can just get rid of your wife
Yeah.
whenever you want. What a guy! He also loved tennis.
What a guy.
But yeah, we didn't really cover like the British Empire. Um,
Yeah.
maybe like fractions of like how it
Okay.
imported like imports, like especially through
Yeah,
India.
yeah.
The tea
Mhm.
trade and stuff because Britain
Yeah.
is built on tea and it's not
Mhm.
ours.
Yeah. It's
Nothing is
definitely not.
ours. Nothing in the British History
No.
Museum is ours.
Yes. Oh.
And I mean, it's quite big over here as well, obviously, because Australia was basically founded on the roots of kicking the indigenous people out, and then here
Yeah.
have all of our nasty people. So it's
Mhm.
really big here, and it is taught here. And
Yeah.
there's a lot more awareness. The UK just
Mhm.
kind of glosses over the fact that
Yeah, I mean, it makes
like they were even
sense.
involved in the slavery trade. Like
Yeah.
Britain kind of gets a free
Yeah.
pass. It's like that. Well, America did it for longer than us,
Uh,
so
yeah, yeah,
oh,
yeah,
look over there!
exactly.
Look over the pond there, the bad guys.
Who who brought over the slaves? Oh,
Oh, oh, the
oh,
Irish.
uh,
I'm wheezing a bit. My throat is killing me.
oh
Um,
man,
but yeah,
that's funny
nah,
though.
I
Yeah, I
remember
think
making
it. I
paper
just thought it
mache
was cool.
castles. He's cool.
Yeah, yeah. I just thought it was interesting, like things we were talking about it, and then he mentioned he's like, "Well, what does like Jake think about like the British, like the dark side of British history?" And I'm like, "Well, we never really talked about, but also like I feel like we have to like go about it ourselves unless you like pursue. Like I personally would have not have known anything about it unless unless I got my degree in history. Like I studied world history, I studied the French Revolution, I studied World War II. World history, we specifically talked about expansionism in European countries and like how not it wasn't just a British thing, everyone did it. But it was just really, I was just thought it was super interesting because again, expansionism is not pleasant. It's not like it's not the best thing in the entire world. I mean, obviously, everyone ended up becoming their own country eventually and stuff like that. But I just thought it was really interesting because, like I said, in the U.S. history, we don't really touch on the Trail of Tears, and we talk about the Civil War, but we don't talk about the ins and the outs of the dark side of slavery and stuff like that. We're taught that's bad. That's why we fought in the Civil War because the one side wanted it, one side didn't. Even though that's not technically the reason why we went to the Civil War, but that's a story for another day.
Yeah,
But
we don't also talk about
y-
how we lost to you. Like,
fair.
we don't
That's
talk about
fair.
that either.
And we definitely talk about it a lot. We're celebrating our 50th anniversary of being free
Yeah, we don't
from
talk
the evil
about
British Empire. Um,
that.
but I just thought I thought it was interesting when he brought that. I was like, oh, maybe I'll ask that to Jake on the podcast. And then, he brought up high school, and I was like, okay, well, this is perfect. Let's
We could
ask now.
transition in. We
So
could transition
yeah,
in.
we can transition. I don't have the hard code like, hey, Jake, what do you think of British expansionism in the British Empire?
You know what? I wouldn't even bat an eyelid, knowing that you've got a history like background. It's like that's a question I would expect from you. Like, that-
Yeah.
it'd be weird if like Nick asked me, like, right, where are you getting
Mhm.
at this? Like, where are you going with this?
Yeah.
What are you trying to set me up? This isn't good. Um, oh well, I don't, how did we transition from New York heat waves to the British Empire?
We talked about. Well, let's see. Well, we talked about graduations. Then you talked about high school. You talked about cooking. I talked about cooking, and then you talked about classes, and then I talked about history. And now we're here.
Now, in
Oh,
my week.
yeah.
Was not involved anything like that at all.
Yeah.
Yeah, my week's been pretty boring. More work,
Okay.
more work, more problems.
Yeah.
Grass is growing. Uh,
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it's growing on the front drive as well, so I'm gonna have to do a bit of weeding. It's growing where I don't want it to grow, which is
Damn.
doing my head in.
Fucking
Went out for
grass.
drinks last night. It was fun. Yeah, it's always
Yeah.
nice to have a
Fun.
when you have a really bad work week. It's just nice to like
Mhm.
semi decompress and just
Yeah. Oh,
sit
yeah. Big
there and
time.
cuss your boss out because my boss he's accepting of it all, and he kind of like
Yeah.
lets the facade down when we go for beers. Like
Mhm.
you get the
Yeah.
real, and you can talk. It's weird because we talk about work after work, but you can get your vents out in a place where it doesn't have to be
Yeah.
managed by HR.
Mhm.
So it's
Very
quite
true.
nice to have that medium of a beer with your
Yeah.
boss and just be like, look, this is really pissing me off, man. Can you help me out? And he's like, no, and this is why.
Yeah.
Because usually you just be told
Yeah.
no, and you don't get the
Yeah.
reason why. But over the beer table, you get the reason why. It's like because of this, and the higher ups are knobheads. So there
Yeah.
you go. That's it.
Mhm.
It's them at the top, but I can't say
Yep.
that on hospital grounds.
Yeah, exactly. And that's basically what I have to say to my employees too when they're like asking me questions and stuff like that. And I just go, just
Yep.
point up. I'm just like,
Go ask someone
I
else.
can't really do
I'd love to give you
can't
answers.
I can't answer that question for you, even though I know the answer, but I can't answer it. But you gotta do what I say. So
And then I
unfortunately.
suppose like we could bridge my boring week to
Yeah.
what will become a recurring segment for the next few weeks is the World Cup because
Oh
one thing
yeah.
that did happen this week is I stayed up. Well, yeah, I stayed up and watched the England game, man, and
You poor thing. You
that
poor
was
thing.
rough. It was really
It
really
was
rough.
rough.
I mean, barring the god awful refereeing for the first 60 minutes of the game, we
Yeah.
just played awfully. Like we can't blame that. Like yes, there was a Stonewall penalty shout. The referee
Yeah.
was told by VAR to go look at it, and he flat out refused on the pitch to even go look at the screen. Now there was clear contact, so Harry Kane through on goal. Keeper comes out, swipes his legs. Yes, the ball was a bit far away from him. He took a heavy touch, but I reckon he had enough pace to at least keep it in play and keep the attack alive. And that's enough
Yeah.
justification for having a penalty kick. Because who knows what could have happened from that point. But your keeper's just taking
Yeah.
him out. Referee says, no, that's a dive. Waves it off and goes, no, that's a dive. play on. Um, my issue is, so if it was a dive, Harry Kane should have been booked for simulation. He should have been given a yellow card
Mhm.
for simulation and trying to play the game. But he wasn't. So then
Nope.
VAR come on the old blower on the old fax machine and go have a look at it because I think there's a potential penalty shout here and you may have made a mistake. Referee goes, no, I'm not looking at the screen. How do you get two of that? You either go with VAR or you book Harry Kane. It's a penalty or you book Harry Kane. We
Yeah.
got neither. And it's like,
Yeah.
how is that consistent refereeing? Especially when we
It's not.
have VAR for a reason. If their video referee is telling you there could be a potential penalty shout, you best go look at that fucking screen.
Mhm.
um, that aside, Democratic Republic of Congo, man, hats off. At one point, I was
Mhm.
rooting for you because for all the pain, I was rooting for you, my guys, because
Oh, man.
they were playing unbelievably well, unbelievably
Yeah.
well, running us off the pitch, compact defense, lethal on the counter attack. They should have gone into
Oh, yeah.
halftime 2-0 up. The game probably should have gone to extra time because
Yeah.
then Harry Kane bailed us out. I mean, their keeper was also on fire in the first half,
Yeah, he
but we
was.
didn't test him. We didn't test him at
Mhm.
all. There was no like real shot or header that
Yeah.
like is going to the corners of the goal. They're all
Mm.
fairly central, and he was making a we call it saving for the cameras. He wants his money shot of where, like where they dive really spectacularly and just tip it over the bar or something when you could have just
Yeah.
caught the ball. It's like, um, but we pulled through. Harry Kane with an
Mhm.
absolute screamer of a second goal. When that went
Yeah.
in, I woke Rachel up because at that point it was like 2 a.m. in the morning and I was screaming. I was screaming. Neighbors will hate me,
Yeah, oh,
but
yeah.
don't care. So now, tomorrow, no, Monday morning, 8 a.m. for me. Apparently, I've heard that there's
Yep.
some like controversy with the Mexico England game. Apparently, they're going to change the time or something, which I hope they don't.
Maybe.
Because I've told my boss I'm going to work late because it's
That's
8 a.m.
fine.
kickoff and I start work at 10 a.m. So I was like, I might be in at like 11:30. I've told him if it goes to extra time, I won't stay. I'll come to work, but I am watching it because it was
As
funny.
of
It
right
was
now, it has not changed. It's still
cool,
scheduled
cool.
for 8 p.m. on Sunday.
Yeah,
8 a.m.
uh,
Monday morning for you.
yeah, I'm happy with that. Um, I think they were talking about 7 or something. I think it wasn't like a big change. I think it was like, why is it 8 p.m. instead of 7 p.m.? But then, like, didn't Canada have a really late game
Mhm.
to
Yeah.
accommodate them and like the other
Yeah.
time zone of the other team? Which I'm all for.
Mhm.
If like
Yeah.
if your country's participating in the World Cup, time zones are killers.
Try to make it
But
work.
you should
Yeah.
really try and
You
accommodate
should try your
the
best.
best we
Yeah.
can. Like
Yeah.
Australia this morning versus Egypt.
Yeah.
Yes, it was 2 a.m., but it's a Friday night. Most people
Yeah,
are off
you
on
can
Saturday.
watch
It
it.
doesn't really matter. Um, and our
But
first
I think the
game
problem
was really late. It
honestly
was like,
honestly, but I
go
think the
ahead, Luke.
problem is, well, like for England, right? For you guys over in England, it would be what? Like 2 a.m. on a
Yeah, it's like
Monday
like
over
1
in
a.m. for them. Yeah,
Y yeah, 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 so that's that I would say that if they could push it to, like, 6 p.m. or something like that, that'd
midnight.
probably be a
Yeah,
little bit more ideal for for the people over in England, obviously. For you, it's a little bit easier for you because you guys have that nice 12-hour, but, like, for example, if Nick wanted to watch the match, like, Nick wouldn't have to wake up at 2 in the morning and watch the match, but, yeah, I get it. I get the reason to move it, but, you know, hey, we're hosting. I'm just glad we're the host country and I get to watch all these games because this is the first time in since I've been a fan of football since that I've been actually able to pretty much watch almost every single game. I don't have to like
yeah,
get
because
up
you're on
super
the
early or not
unfavorable
super late
side
in the
when
day.
it's in Europe
Yeah,
because
yeah, very
like
much.
you're behind. So if we're playing at
Mhm.
like 12 o'clock, you get the 6 a.m. game. They're all in
Yeah,
working hours, but we're on the better side
mhm.
of the UK, where
Yeah,
like in Europe, if it's at 2, if the kickoff's at 2 p.m., that's like 9 p.m. for me. That's dinner time. I
yeah,
can watch the game while
mhm.
eating my meal. Well, it's nice.
Exactly. Yeah, it is. Trust me, it's very nice.
Yeah, and now I'm on the shit end of the stick with Luke, getting up at
Yeah,
5 a.m. to
yeah.
watch these games. But yeah, England are through. We've now got Mexico, and
Yeah.
that's going to be. Now I will say the
It's gonna be
Mexico
a big
team aren't
match.
as good as what
No,
people are making out, but
no,
the
they're not.
altitude of that stadium is going
Mhm.
to kill our players.
Yeah.
Like, our players are used to playing in lovely British pitches where it's
Yeah.
middle of the road temperature, humidity, you don't really get hot, you don't
Mhm.
need these water breaks, and you're definitely not playing at the altitude of which that Mexico stadium. I think it's the highest football stadium in the world. Like,
It is.
we are going to get eaten alive. So if we're not 2-0 up by half time, we're cooked. We're absolutely
Yeah.
cooked.
No,
Uh,
overall, like it was overall, like the round of 16 has been very chill. I was just talking to
amazing.
Jake about this. Like this whole entire World Cup has just been like there haven't been too many blowouts. Every game's been competitive up to a certain point, and by God, the amount of extra time and penalties that we've had is crazy. Like, obviously, like the biggest upset of them all is the fact that Germany is no longer in the World Cup. Early exit due to pins, absolute insanity. The Australia game today went to penalties, and bless that strike. I can't remember, I don't remember his position, but bless that 18-year-old's heart who stepped up in the penalties. And yeah, he blew it over, but that's gonna take guts. But shame on the Australia national team for relying on an 18-year-old in that situation.
Yeah.
Very poor um, very poor coaching, managerial on the Australian national team. They definitely gonna have to ask some
We had it when
questions after
we
that
lost to
one.
Euros on the penalties, and
Yeah.
Bukayo Saka stood up at 18 years old,
Hmm.
and there was a lot of backlash of saying like, you shouldn't. I know he wanted to, but you shouldn't have let him. Like
Yeah.
that kid's got
Exactly.
his career ahead of him, and it'll weigh on his
Mm.
shoulders that England could have raised their
Rest of
first
his career.
trophy for a long time, and he missed
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. And then obviously, I guess the best thing for me obviously is the US did win their game. They were favored. Again, we also had to deal with some very questionable refereeing in that match. But I did enjoy the fact that we pulled together despite being a man down, because that was scary. Anytime you go down, you're a man down in the World Cup, and you've got these small teams that are just everyone's discounting, but they're there at the World Cup for a fucking reason. They're a pretty good goddamn soccer team, and it just showed that one, we can still attack the ball. We got an amazing free kick, and our defense, which was the biggest question coming into it, held it down, and we ended up, getting a clean sheet. And um, it sucks that we're down our best striker for the next match. But
Who are you
I
playing?
feel confident that I think we're playing Belgium.
Oh,
Yeah,
I was kind
I
of hoping they
feel
were going out,
confident.
but they
Yeah, I
pulled
feel
through,
I
didn't
feel
they?
con- yes, I feel confident that we could beat them, but it's going to be a thing where we're going to be going to extra time. We're either going to get absolutely demolished, or we're going to win a close nail biting game. Which if we somehow beat Belgium, I will take that as our World Cup, because
Yeah.
that's great for us. That's great for US football.
I think it's already
But
been
yeah,
a
this round
great
of third,
advocate. Like,
it
this
has
whole
been. We
tournament
played
has been
really good.
amazing. Like, barring
Yeah.
the the extortionate ticking prices and whatnot, but that's gonna start happening. That's not
Yeah.
just America, that's gonna happen at every World Cup now. It's just
All
that's
over
the
the
way
world.
it is.
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, the crowds have been amazing. Like,
Mhm.
the whole vibe of just forget about what's happening on the outside of the world. If you just, like, encapsulate that World Cup vibe,
Yeah.
it's been absolutely amazing. Like, it
Mhm.
I didn't start watching until the Australia game, and then I was in. Once you watch one
Yeah.
game, you're in. Like, that's it.
Yeah, you're in, man. Yeah,
Uh,
you're in. I've been hooked. I've been hooked ever since there has not been a game that I have missed other than like a midnight Japan game. Um that I miss. Everything I have on the background at work, I've got it on. I'm got it playing on my phone. I literally look at the camera that's always watching me. I'm like, It's the
Okay.
World Cup.
It's a World Cup.
It happens every 4 years. You know,
Let me have it.
let me have it. It happens every 4 years, y'all. Um, and they're fine with it. They're pretty cool. I do too much for them that they can't really get upset with me if I'm like I'm just gonna prop my phone up while I'm doing my paperwork. Um, but it's been a great World Cup, and I mean I am just in soccer football fever right now. Like as Jake knows, I'm still playing FC 26. I'm still managing Oxford United. We are in the Prem, doing great. We're doing great right now. We are currently sitting sixth in the Prem right now. Very proud of my squad. They're doing really good, really great. I'm doing great tactical work. Um, that being said, we don't do go very far in the cups. We don't. We get to like the round of 16, and then we get booted by Chelsea or some other great Premier
Yep.
League team.
That's
And
how
then
it
when we,
goes.
then when we play in the Prem, like we beat Man City 4-1 randomly, and I'm
Yep.
like, well, that's nice. And I'm like, but why couldn't we beat them? And they like, I'm sorry, it's the Carabao Cup. I shouldn't care about this, but why? Why can't we do this?
Yep.
But I'm very much enjoying it. I will say, all things aside, take what you want. Talk shit all you want about FIFA and the monetization on clubs and the monetization in Ultimate Team. The manager mode is really, 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 really good. There isn't too much that I would change because I'm a big sports simulator guy. I love playing all the career, like the manager size in like pretty much every sports game, like NBA, NFL, college football, FIFA, all that. I love it. And I think next to probably NBA, no, honestly, probably next to college football. FIFA's manager mode is like right there. It's just some little things here and there I wish they could do. They did. I think the youth academy can still be reworked a little bit more. I think the AI could be worked a little bit more with transfer budgets and stuff like that. Because you can obviously there's abuses that you can do and stuff like that. Like if I really don't want to pay this guy $56,000 a week, I can just pay him 10,000, just give him a big ass signing bonus,
Yeah.
if I really want to, and they'll still accept it and stuff like that. So like there's glitches and exploits that you can work, and I want them to work that out. But overall, I've been having a great time. I'm not bored of it yet. I literally like I was watching the World Cup and I was playing the game and I almost lost track of time after the game I was watching and I was playing FIFA. It was 8:50. I'm like, shit, I got the podcast. If I did not check my phone, I would have been sitting there till like Jake would have been calling me on the Discord, and I'm like, oh my god, I forgot all about it. I'm just absorbed
No,
in it right now, and it's just
that's about the
super
time I
fun.
woke up. Like I woke up and went, "Oh God, the podcast."
The podcast. Oh
Oh
man,
no,
we're professional.
football's good. We are. We're totally professional. It's
Yeah,
not like I didn't wake up 20 minutes before this happened. It's fine. It's fine.
yeah,
The good thing is
yeah,
I can
yeah,
pull myself together like that. I've done it. I do it for work and I
yeah.
can do it for the podcast. I'm ready.
I do
Up,
same
ready and running.
exactly.
Just
Yeah.
I just needed my toilet break
Mm-hmm.
beforehand. That's all I wanted.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking
Those are
of
very
shit news.
important. Oh,
What about that for a transition?
mm,
Talk about professional. Um, the
yeah.
announcement randomly this week came out of for me came out of the blue. I don't. We kind of did we expect it? Nah, I don't think we did. PlayStation have finally confirmed that we are going full digital. January 2028. January 2028. Not a big fan of this. Now, that being said, I look behind me and I don't have any, um, do not have any physical PlayStation games, PlayStation 5 games, but I do have physical
Yes.
PlayStation 4 games because I do have a disc drive PlayStation 5. I made a very big commitment and paying the extra £50 or whatever it was to get that disc drive because I wanted that capability. Um, I've heard some rumors that Sony are inflating the 80% number that they're flying around of saying that 80% of their sales are all digital. And that is enough of a pushing force to say, like, the 20% can suck it up. But I've heard that they're inflating those. So it's not actually 80% at all. So I'm not sure. I'm a bit disappointed in Sony to be honest, because now I've seen the lawsuits coming in because Sony have a monopoly now. Microsoft have kind of left. Xbox has kind of left the scene. They're bringing out the Helix or whatever it is that I'm really excited about. I didn't know about it until the Steam Machine came out this week, and that was also another talking point for maybe another podcast. Because that went down like a lead balloon. Helix might save that as a PC gaming Xbox type, because Xbox is just leaving the console market whatsoever. So there is just
Yeah.
Sony now, and Sony are saying we can do whatever we want. And I feel like the lawsuits will come in because of the monopoly, the
Yeah.
monopolization of a marketplace that you now have
Mhm.
full control over, and that's not how it works in the world. You're not allowed to do that.
Nope.
I'd like to hear your take, Luke, because you're much more of a physical gamer than I am.
Yeah.
Uh,
Okay, so it's twofold, right? Like I I get the biggest argument that I've seen for why Sony should not care about the physical media side is because people are saying, well, Steam does it, and Xbox is no longer a thing, and and Nintendo is just a code at this point, and you get a little box. So what's the big deal? Why is everyone up in arms? Um, I also am mainly a digital purchaser now. I only buy physical media for like collector's editions and stuff like that. Um, and I do enjoy that bit of it. That being said, it's unfair to you're basically alienating quote unquote 20% of your player base by getting rid of physical media. We're talking about the fact that there are these mom and pop game shops that will do discounts on physical games, right? Like I can go into Walmart right now and get FC 26 for $20, but on the PlayStation Store, it's $50, right? By eliminating physical media, what you're essentially doing is giving PlayStation the right to set whatever prices they want on whatever games they want. And if you're always going to have to buy said game for the price that they say, because there's no other place that you can get this game now for cheaper because you can only buy it on the PlayStation. So you're stuck waiting for a sale if it ever goes on sale, which I'm about 90% positive that these sale numbers are going to that of games that are going 40% are going to go only down up are going to go back up to only like 30 to 25% off. Because again, they don't have to worry about someone going to GameStop and picking up a game or going to Walmart and picking up a game anymore. It also puts businesses out of it puts businesses out, again, these small mom and pop reseller shops are going to be going out of business. They're going to be relying on retro physical media, which is a damn shame. And it just seems like an unnecessary move by PlayStation. And the fact the only reason why they're doing it is because they just don't want to make a disc version of the PS6. And that is solely the only reason why they're doing this. It's because they do not want to make a disc version of PS6. And I'm sorry, just do what the fuck Nintendo is doing.
yeah,
Let them have a code, but they can still have the physical thing. And I mean, and essentially what it's doing is you're basically now not physically buying something, you're buying the right to it. You're not really owning anything. If PlayStation really wanted to, they could pull the plug and say, you don't have the right to use this game anymore because we technically own it and it's tied to your console and we control everything on your console.
yeah,
You know, it's a shitty business move. Sony should feel ashamed of itself for doing something like that. Um, and to the people that you know are bashing Sony, aren't bashing Sony and saying, "Well, Steam does it." Well, Steam also has millions upon millions of games in their library. They're constantly having sales. Um, They have the lovely versions of early access games where you can literally buy a game for $5 and play that game while it's in development for a year to 2 years, and then you don't have to repay it. You bought that game for $5, and now they're going to sell that game for $40. Steam is totally different.
Also, they have
Um,
a functional
and
refund policy. You can play that.
yes,
There's a whole YouTube thing of like, play. Can I beat this game in 2 hours and get my
mhm,
money back? It's like a speedrunning
yeah,
thing on YouTube. But yeah,
yeah,
you can play the game for the first 2 hours in game play, not just you've bought it and you've now got a 2 hour window to play it. Like in
yes,
game hours, 2 hours in game. You can, if you say this isn't for me, click the refund button, money back,
hmm,
done.
yep, no questions asked.
While on the PlayStation, you tick buy now, and within that
It's
little buy now button, it says right next to it, no refunds.
yep,
No refunds. And
yeah.
that's not
I was a
on.
victim of that. Hmm.
Off. Yeah, I've been a victim.
But I
I've done it
got,
before.
but I got my, but I got my money back. I will give PlayStation that. I immediately got on PlayStation support. They asked me for a fuck ton of information. I said, "Fuck you! I want to talk to someone." And then they immediately put me on with someone, and then I told them what happened. They saw that, and they're like, "Oh, well, it says that you own this game and you played 10 hours of this game." I was like, "Yes, I actually bought the ultimate edition of the game that I own because I was looking at it on my thing. And just when I went to buy another game, I forgot it was still in my cart. Please give me my $60 back." And they're like, "Okay." But, they weren't, but to be fair, that could be a very rare occasion for some people. And yeah, they need to have that too. Like the 2 hour refund policy. Perfect. Implement that. They won't, but
Nope.
um yeah, I'm it's awful news to hear. I think the broader gaming world is upset because again, it's just a death of physical media, and it's just
I feel like they tried to
unfortunate, but it's
piggyback
just
off the GTA 6 announcement that won't be on
yeah.
a disc. And
Yes.
I've noticed now, like, if you do play PlayStation, have PlayStation apps or whatever, the whole theme at the moment has been in the GTA colors of, like, the red
Mhm.
and pink. Um, that's now
Mhm.
been withdrawn because Rockstar have told Sony we don't want to be part of what you're doing. But even though
Yeah.
they did it themselves, that being said, GTA 6 is probably going to be like a 600 gig download. So what are you actually getting on the disc? Maybe 30,
Yeah.
and then you have to download the extra
Yep.
570. It's like, okay, fair enough. I'm assuming Rockstar will have something in play where you can get some form of physical, like,
Yeah.
collectible
They'll have a
or
colle they'll have a collector's edition, or knowing Rockstar, they'll be like, "Hey, if you just go to our website, you can buy the case for the game, and a blank CD of it for $5
yeah, something like
if
that.
you really want it."
Um, but
You
yeah,
know?
Rockstar have distanced themselves from Sony this week. The
Yeah.
lawsuits are coming in. Do I think Sony will backtrack? No. Do I think they'll
No.
apologize? No. Um, yeah, they're too far in it now. Once you've gone, you've gone. Once you jump, like the investors will be expecting this. They'll have pitched it
Yeah.
to the higher ups, the lizard people, and they'll be like, right, our stocks are going to fall hard. I see the way that the internet is trying to take this is like we're not going to hit them on the gaming front. We're going to hit them as a company because Sony make all sorts of things, headphones and all the audio
Mhm.
devices. They've got like TVs. They're a big
Mhm.
multi conglomerate. Just buy something else. Go LG. Go
Yep.
TCL. Go Hisense. But like,
Yep.
just don't buy Sony. Hit them where it hurts.
Yeah.
Don't buy the
Oh,
fridge.
yeah. Right. Fuck the fridge, dude. Yeah, no, it's a shame. It's a big shame, and it's one of the most disappointing pieces of news is of video game news I've seen in a really long time. Because again, we kind of knew it was coming, but it's not
And it
something
sets the
that we
stage for
wanted to happen.
Microsoft and Xbox to come back with a vengeance. Like, that being said, um, the saving grace I think of all this is that we have now got to a point in the life cycle of a PC that I'm not saying the Steam machine is a good machine. It's not. It's for the price point. It's not good. But it will play AAA titles at 1080p for around 60 FPS. People keep banging on like, oh, Cyberpunk is like 24. Like, well, sure. Like that game is meant to be very settings based. If you want to see the cracks in the concrete 600 meters away with the rain dripping off it with ray tracing, then sure, you're gonna need a big PC that's going to be able to do that. But a little expecting it from a little box that's 6 inches by 6 inches is not going to happen. But it has blown the door open because Steam have now released Steam OS, which basically brings all of these mini PC builds into effect where you can build a mini PC for, yes, it might be double the amount from a PlayStation, but it's upgradable. Steam OS is pretty much there now in terms of a really great functioning game library that you can control with a controller. Like, you just click, there's none of this booters in the PC where you have to faff around and shit. Like, it's all controlled within this operating system. And I think it's a good step forward for people now. It is going to push me. I will move to PC gaming after the PS5.
Okay.
Like, that's what's going to happen with me. I'm going to make a small form factor PC that I can bring into the office if I want, or leave it in the living room, play on my TV, and that's just going to be my way forward. I have stuck with PlayStation throughout every generation. I've had one from the PlayStation original all the way up to the PlayStation 5. I've never bought the Pro versions because I've been an early adopter. I've been in at point of sale on release day. And I feel like the PS6 is going to be diminishing returns. I think PS5 as a whole, given, well, if you take away the announcement that we had a couple of weeks back when me and Luke covered it over that the whole gaming week release, before that, our consoles have been starved. Like, it hasn't really been on at all. Is it down to me not buying the right games? Maybe, because I'm really enjoying Lords of the Fallen with Nick. I wouldn't have picked that up normally, but again, that's a game from 2013. There hasn't really been any flagship games, and I feel like if Sony are going to make this decision, they need to back it up with the publishers. If you're going to start saving money and not subsidizing the console, you need to start helping your publishers, because at the moment they haven't thrown the publishers a bone at all.
No.
They've left them in the dark, and I'm a bit upset, but I'm one of the niche picks where I have the ability to build a PC. Yes, everyone can buy a custom build. You've got companies now, you will pay a premium, but they will build it for you. You can buy it off the shelf, and sometimes I will say it is actually cheaper to buy the pre-build. There was a weird like gap. Do you remember when GPUs went through the roof because AI was using GPUs instead of RAM?
Yeah, because they were in the pre-built. Yep.
Yeah, and if you bought a pre-build, you could get like a 5090 for the normal price. But if you were buying the card by itself, it was like triple the price. It was a really weird time. And that's kind of happening now, again, with RAM, that you can get it a bit cheaper if you buy the pre-build. So I would... And shippers are now starting to install SteamOS on their pre-builds for you. So all you need is just to buy a pre-build. The storefront is amazing in SteamOS. We've had a Steam Deck for the longest time. Rachel loves it. It's absolutely amazing. I would recommend just make the transition, go to PC gaming, leave the PS6 alone.
Yeah.
That's my hot take.
I would agree with you on that basis. The only thing that's going to hold people back, unfortunately, is the price point.
Yep.
And that's going to, because again, we don't know what the PS6 is going to be. If the PS6 comes out and it's $800 at launch, which is very possible at this point.
Yeah, I think rumors at the moment at 800 to 900. They wanted it at 600. They wanted the Steam machine at 800. RAM prices at the moment are triple. So it's like, add $300 onto whatever they proposed.
Yeah, everything could fall. You know, people could. I mean, again, we solved the GPU crisis. We could solve the RAM crisis by the time things happen. The U.S. will have a new president in the United States, so tariffs will be out of the question now. Really just depends. And I would agree with you that I probably won't be buying a PS6 because I am very much. I won't only buy a console when there is a game that is announced that is coming solely to said console. I talked to you before. The only reason why I'm buying a Switch 2 is of Fire Emblem. The only reason why I bought a PS5 is because of college football, right? And I wasn't going to wait 2 years for it to come to PC. I don't even think it's coming to PC still. It's been 3 years and still not on PC yet. and that's the only way they're gonna get me. And like I told you on the last reaction video, thank God Final Fantasy VII Revelations is coming out for the PS5 because if it was out on the PS6, I probably would have to fall
Lock
on my
in.
laurels and buy it. I would have to. And that's because I want to support the publishing companies that are putting out these games. And unfortunately, I think it's a shame that these publishing companies are going to get stuck having to put their games on the PS6 because PS6 is going to throw them an absurd amount of money to make them an exclusive, right? And as a business, it's almost laughable not to take that, right? It'd be like, all right, we're going to come out with this game, and they're like, all right, we're going to put it out on every console. And PlayStation's like, we're going to give you $100 million to make this a PlayStation exclusive game, and you've just made all your money back on your game right there, and you haven't sold a single game.
Yep.
And that's what Sony does, right? And that's the thing with the lawsuits. That's why they're getting sued, monopolies and stuff like that, because now they can put the pressure on on all these great publishers to be like, we're going to give you a fuck ton of money just to put your games out on our console, so no one else, so they have to come and buy this $900 console, which is why morally I will probably stick with you on the PC. I might just have to when I take my trip to Australia, be like, all right, Jake, I'm going to come visit you, but also I'm picking up a pre-built PC, a built PC while I'm over there because I don't
Funny
know what I'm
enough, like
doing.
the form factors that we can build, like we could
Yeah,
buy it, build it here, and you could put it in your backpack and take it home. You could take it on
yeah.
the plane with you.
th-
Like that's literally the
There you
form
go.
factor we're
Yeah,
talking. Like,
yeah, yeah. So it's possible. So yeah, shame on Sony. And again, just fuck off. I'm tired of fucking
they
people wanting to play
they
their
could have
games
softened the
that.
blow. They could have softened the
Yeah,
blow by instead of just announcing like it's gone, they said like it's gone, but this is what we're doing. We will increase, like you said, increase the sale rates, refund policy, a marketplace overhaul, and people might have
yeah,
like took it with a grain of salt and gone, okay, they're
yeah. We'll
pushing their
see.
way into a market that we understand that most people are going because as a consumer we understand we're doing it like we're
Yes.
just buying digital now,
Yes.
but they need to support the marketplace that they're
Mhm.
solely missing, and they're not Big Daddy Nintendo, man. Don't
No, they're
try and
not.
be Nintendo because you're just not it.
You're
You,
not
you,
it.
you're just not
You're
it.
not. You're not. Stop trying.
Yeah, that's the moral of the story. Don't.
Yes.
You're a small fish in a big pond, and the
Yes.
big
You are
pond is
not
owned by
Nintendo.
Nintendo.
Yes. You are not Nintendo. Only Nintendo can get away with this shit because they're
Nintendo,
fucking Nintendo.
they are
That's
not in
it.
the pond.
All
They
right.
are the earth that surrounds the water. That's how big they.
If you want to, if you want to be like place a Nintendo PlayStation, you need a Mario, you need a Zelda, and you need a Pokemon. You don't got that. You've
No.
got Wolverine, you got Spider Man, and you got Last of Us and God of War. And like 8 other
Well, even
games
God of
that
War's
like
on PC
don't
now.
even touch. Yeah, exactly. Well, it's not going to be on PC for the PlayStation has pulled all their exclusive rights and they're bringing them all back to PlayStation. So the next
Yeah.
God of War is going to come on PC, all that great stuff. No longer on PC. So fuck you, PlayStation. Anyways, enough negative ranting. We're going to go ahead and call it a podcast after this one, guys. Thank you guys so much for listening every single week. We really appreciate it. We really appreciate guys the love that you guys have shown us over the last month or so. This last month, me and Jake have really stepped up the content coming out on the channel with the shorts, the streams, different videos than just the podcast. As you guys saw the tier list last week. And you guys have been supporting in droves. Our watch hours are great. We're getting lots of likes. We're getting a lot of the community is starting to feel like a community right now. And I'm really, really appreciative of everyone who has joined the community, who's been supporting us since day one. Thank you guys very much. If you guys haven't watched it, definitely check out our tier list video that we did. It's a lot of fun. As someone like Jake said that we watched it, we filmed it like almost 2 months ago and it's out now. It was as a viewer, it was fun to watch because I'm like, I have no idea what I'm about to say right now. So it's really, really cool. And I think you guys will enjoy it. And besides that, you guys just keep your eyes peeled. There'll be streams this weekend. as well throughout the week. Keep note on the community tab on the YouTube channel where you will see what we're doing that week, this week for for the channel, and always stay tuned to our other social medias, including Instagram and TikTok, where we also post all of our shorts and little updates about the channel. But besides that, guys, thank you guys so much, and we will see you guys on the next episode. Oh, bye bye.